Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the ILG LCL Season 2 of the Amateur League. Right now we've got Overdrive VS Warriors here, and my name is Loki. Alongside me is Todd. He has casted the last game and previous game, I suppose. So Todd, take it away, man.
Hey guys, here on the blue team we see Nidalee, Cassiopeia and Kalista banned, whereas on the purple team have banned out LeBlanc and Cassiopeia and Nidalee aren't very common bans here in the ILG, so I am guessing they are targeted bans.
Indeed, and we have the Draven ban coming out as the last ban of the day for purple team here. And let's talk a little bit about these bans. So, we've got the purple team here with the Blitzcrank, LeBlanc, and Draven ban. So, I'd say Blitzcrank is kind of a general ban. I'm surprised that they didn't ban, champion like Morgana, because I guess Emusha is a Morgana player. And they've kind of done their homework. They kind of haven't. Their bans are very interesting, it seems. So yeah, Blitzcrank ban looks like a very standardized ban against this team today. LeBlanc, I'm guessing that Warrior Annie, he's played a good amount of LeBlanc, so I guess the LeBlanc ban would be towards him. I'm not sure about the Draven ban because these guys are relatively a new team here in the ILG LCL, so that could be a targeted ban. I'm not too sure. But Todd, why don't you go through the blue team's ban? Sorry.
The Nidalee is pretty OP in this current patch. She is getting nerfed in 5.5, but considering she is OP and probably they have researched something on the purple team side, and it could be a targeted ban as well, since Nidalee isn't typically banned here in the ILG. But Cassiopeia, that as well is a very uncommon ban. ILG, nobody in India pretty much plays Cassiopeia. But Kalista is very annoying to play against, especially when there are a lot of skill shots coming in. Kalista is just gonna dodge every skill shot you throw at him, and he's gonna dodge every skill shot while damaging you with his auto attacks. So he is very annoying to deal with. So that is a pretty common ban. And this purple team, I do see a lot of all-in going, because they have got the Leona and the Jarvan, but not much of peel left.
Indeed, and very strong picks coming out from both the teams. So coming onto the blue team side, we do have their bot lane already picked. Morgana Graves lane, that's a very bursty lane coming out from their bot lane alone. Lots of good utility and mobility, and Graves being a very bursty AD carry into this game. And also we've got the Maokai top, which is at the moment a very, very, very strong top lane pick. I believe that all top lane mains should learn this champion because he is a menace in team fights, and if you can get him going, then he can single-handedly carry the team on his own. So that a lot of good in meta picks coming out from the blue team right now. Over on the purple team, we do have the Jarvan being picked up. I'm not sure if that is a top lane Jarvan or a mid lane Jarvan. Could be both, because Jarvan is very strong in the jungle at the moment, as well as top lane if you can get fed and start rolling your lane a little bit. Next, we also have the bot lane being picked for team, a Leona and Jinx. So Todd, we know you do play a lot of bot lane and mid lane as well, but talk to me about the blue team and purple team's bot lane.
Exactly. I do not like the Jinx pick here, considering they have so much burst at the bot lane, and Jinx doesn't have much of an escape. So if Morgana manages to land a binding onto the Jinx, that's pretty much a dead Jinx, because the Graves would follow up on that binding and burst her out. And the Leona doesn't offer as much peel as well. So pretty much the Jinx has no protection, and she has to rely on her own skills to get out of everything. But how much could she possibly dodge when they have a Vi, an Annie, a Maokai, and Morgana stun coming in, all probably aimed at Jinx. So I do not definitely like the Jinx pick, and the Malzahar pick as well is it's not good for this team comp because Malzahar by himself does not have much of mobility and could get caught, and champions Jinx, Malzahar, they require a lot of peel. And purple team has no peeling champions. They have a Jax, Leona, and Jarvan who just go all in. So unless purple team starts going in the early lane phases and start pressurizing the blue team, and the blue team are the ones who are falling back, purple team shouldn't have much of a problem. But in the case that blue team gets ahead, the purple team will have trouble coming back into the game.
Yeah, indeed, and I totally agree on you. This Malzahar pick isn't really good because if you just look at like the ganks that could happen potentially happen in the mid lane. I mean, you have one way where Morgana can roam down mid lane, and you can have Annie to lock her down, and then have the Morgana CC follow up afterwards. If you have the top lane to come and gank, I mean, one snare stun from Annie could also lock up a Malzahar. Even the jungle, the common jungle gank could also lock up the Malzahar with the assault and battery. So you have a lot of CC on the blue team that can just chain CC a Malzahar if he gets caught. So it doesn't look like a very good pick coming through. But yeah, coming over to the purple team. Jax jungle and Jarvan top. So, Todd, again, I'm a little bit confused here because it should be the other way around. But talk to me how the jungle and top lane is gonna go.
Top Jarvan is actually a lane bully. He does well off in the lane phase, but he does fall off toward the end game. But through the early and mid game, he should have a lot of pressure on the Maokai. I guess I'm not sure how Jarvan versus Maokai matchup actually goes, but Jarvan is generally a lane bully. He has a lot of burst damage, and he has a potential escape as well in case he gets ganked. As opposed to the Maokai, who does not have much of an escape, but he just has to rely on his inner tankiness. While the Jax jungle is probably the first time we are seeing here in the ILG. It is surprising. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It is a gamble they are taking. They have to. The Jax has to get the top lane Jarvan going, and they have to let the top Jarvan teleport bot, help the bot lane of the purple team snowball ahead. Because if Jinx and Leona start falling behind by a big amount, it will cause a lot of trouble because the blue team has a lot of lockdowns, and purple team is comparatively immobile. So the purple team has to get rolling in the beginning stages of the game. Though the purple team has the late game Jinx, and Malzahar is also known to do a lot of damage. He has a high AP ratio. Chance that they getting caught off guard is even highly likely, despite their scaling.
Yes, indeed. And as you were saying, this Jax jungle, it's not a very standard jungle pick, but if they can probably try and let the game scale out, well, even then they'd lose. But still, if maybe Jax could probably get fed somehow or something like that off his ganks, then it'll really work. And it just depends upon how fast he can get his Trinity Force and Blade the Rune King, because that's when you get the Jax to keep on going. But red team, sorry, has really good season 5 comp. I mean, you could argue that the Annie mid is not very a common standard pick, but little do they know that Annie is such a very strong pick. Annie's always been a very strong pick, even in the support and mid lane. It's just that people don't really pick up Annie as a mid laner these days for whatever reason. I guess they like the high mobile bursty champions such as Ari or LeBlanc or something. But Annie mid is a very good pick, especially for low elo games. It really works. And plus her auto attacks also do decent damage. So this lane should go in the favor of Annie because just with the burst Tibbers and teamfight also, it should go in favor of red team. Sorry. But right now we've loaded into the match. We've got the players buying the items. Sorry, no pauses so far, but you never know. Tons of damage. What time are you on?
15 seconds.
15 seconds. Lokesh, you're also on 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So match just started. All of us are on the 15 seconds. We're all on the same time. Everything's synced, and Jinx, being a little bit late to buy her items, kind of forgot her items, I guess. Now she's got it, but you can see blue team over there, pinging the correct spots, where to ward, where to look at for invades, and standing in the tri brushes to make sure that no invades happen. I mean, I really don't think with a comp like red team has picked right now that they can go for an early invade, but there's no harm to ward. So good ward, good maps. They've spread themselves out evenly to watch for invades, and they're watching every exit. I guess the top side could be watched a little bit better, but Maokai's got a sapling right there, and it's all good.
Although I've pointed out the red team's weakness, which is actually pretty huge, but if they do, they get to manage the early game, and if they actually come out ahead in the laning phase, the red team is going to be able to snowball, and if they manage to get the blue team little scared and running back, the red team have a lot of all-in going, and since the blue team is the one which is actually falling back, the Jinx and Malzar in the back would actually be safe to throw out all the damage from behind that they have, high damage that they have.
Indeed. So, Jack starting with the bot lane while Vi starting with the top lane. So, two opposite starts, you could say, on either side. And blue team will get to their bot lane first, which means they will be CSing better. Good binding being landed onto Jinx, and Jinx taking a little bit of damage. But, by the looks of things that's happening all over the map at this moment, don't you think that blue team is just playing very confident? And that's another bind being landed, and Jinx 2 minutes into the game already half HP.
It's mostly because Leona doesn't offer much before level 2 at the very least. At level 1, Leona offers pretty much nothing. Even if she manages to Zenith Blade into one of the bot lane people, she is gonna get the damage.
That's another binding being langed. Blue team got level 2 first. Heal will being lose. One more shot to kill bot lane, but the double flash will denote in a safe disengage and a failed engage coming out by the blue team. But that was such an obvious move people make in bot lane. I'm not sure why red team would fall for that trick, but over in the mid lane we do have Jax just randomly walking in the lane. I'm not too sure.
Probably thinks that's the quicker path to take.
I think he forgot that he's a Jax. He probably thought he was some Lee Sin to, safeguard in and land a Sonic Wave or something.
Probably, we'll never know.
Yeah, but
the top lane, as we see, the Jarvan is actually putting a lot of pressure on the Maokai, which is expected, and it should go in the Jarvan's favor, because if the Jarvan actually falls behind the Maokai, that's pretty much game over for the top lane.
Yeah, because Jarvan, as you said earlier, is very early game focused, and he is a lane bully, so his job is to win lane. And if Maokai could somehow prevent that particular thing from happening, then this is just gonna go in blue team's favor. I mean, blue team has the season 5 comp. There's a reason why there are champion rotations in every meta, and blue team has adjusted to that perfectly, and they're playing their lanes out very well. I mean, with the bot lane level 2 engage, they're just playing it. They're not playing it safe, but they're just playing it very on spot. You can see the roam just coming out. I mean, not the roam, the sorry, I forgot. I can't get that word. Zoning coming out from Morgana alone. I mean, he has hit their current he has hit most of his bindings over on the bot lane and is just doing very well. So yeah.
And Leona could actually start putting a lot of pressure on the bot lane once she hits level 6, especially with the help of the jungler.
Got some pinging
Malza
coming in over in
actually,
the mid lane. Vi ganking, get some damage. Alwana flashes out, and that will secure the disengage coming out by Malzahar. So, yeah, that's what I was talking to you earlier. I mean, if Papalo could have played that a bit better, he could have got a stun from his Q and had Vi come in and probably secured a kill because if Ignite was on, because Vi does a lot of damage early into the game, and they could have secured it, but for some other reason they didn't, and that's another bind being landed onto bot lane when Jinx will just escape with a slither of HP. This Morgana, man, it looks like she's almost scripting.
well, I would, like you said, actually, the Y did have a red buff as well, so it was a little miscommunicated on the blue team side because if the Annie managed to stun up the Malzahar, the Y would have been able to combo down the Malzahar and the Ignite would have actually secured the kill on him. But since the Annie wasn't able to manage to land the stun, Malza actually flashes in and gets away safely. But nonetheless, that's a flash bond. Still a lot of pressure, and the lack of mobility on the Malza's part will definitely is probably he could probably be assured he's going to get ganked in the next few minutes. And why, especially after hitting level 6, should be looking at a mid lane gank.
Indeed. So, looking to the builds right now, especially to the top lane, I mean, you can see Jarvan picking up that Doran shield. I'm not sure why, because I really don't think to my knowledge. And we have first blood. Sorry, I missed that. I didn't know what happened.
And he actually flashed the burst to Malzahar. Malzahar was pretty low on HP, and he made a mistake by sticking when he was low on HP. Especially against an Annie who just hit level 6, you're supposed to back away and re-heal. That was a huge mistake from Malzahar's part.
Indeed, it was. I mean, Annie just being a very strong pick, and here we have Jarvan going very aggressive on the top lane. But here comes Vi. Q does hit, and it just gets knocked up. Cataclysm being used, but the smite and flash out will secure a disengage by Jarvan. And it looks like he's not winning this. Doesn't look like he's gonna be winning this lane. Todd.
Javan is up on CS compared to the Maokai, but he has to play a little safe currently because he does not have his flash, and Vi is actually doing a good job ganking the mid and top lanes, burning the flashes on both the solo laners. So Vi is doing her job right. Jax on the other hand has not showed his presence well so far. That is exactly why Jax isn't a very standard jungler. He does not offer much compared to a Vi or a Jarvan jungle. Jax top in jungle Jarvan would have been better.
Yeah, indeed, it would have been much better because you have the early game pressure coming from Jarvan to the lanes, and you have Jax who can actually sit back, farm, and try and scale up to that late game where he becomes such a hyper-carried menace. But instead, they kind of did the opposite way around, which really doesn't look like it's going in their favor. Because even though Jarvan is high on CS, he hasn't really been winning this lane and hasn't made such a huge goal difference in this lane. And also with the Doran shield start, I mean, come on, you want to win this lane as Jarvan. You don't want to sit there and farm it out. But it's only 8 minutes into the game. He could probably look for a teleport over on bot lane because this blue team's bot lane has just been playing very aggressive. I mean, almost all the snares coming up from Morgana have hit, and you can just see how red team's bot lane struggling in CS as well as like normal lane positioning. I mean, they're just trying to hug turret as much as possible. That is including the 20 CS deficit coming out from Jinx compared to Graves.
Exactly, like we pointed out, the Graves Morgana has a upper hand in the laning phase compared to the Jinx and Leona. But if Jax actually makes a gank at the bot lane, Leona could lock down the Morgana or the Graves, and that's how they could possibly win. Need a gank at bot lane.
Indeed, and you can see just mid just almost face rolling this Malzahar. I mean, 80 CS to 48 plus a kill. I mean, this any pick is just amazing. And now I guess we see some counter jungling coming by red team. I mean, they're confident that they have enough CC to fight a 2v2, and their bot lane being very strong here, just shoving the wave in as fast as possible. But now we have a random teleport coming out from Jarvan. I think this won't be engaged on. Jarvan coming in, flash. No, he doesn't flash. He just cataclysm in, but good disengage coming up from Janna. The solar flare is being used, and Jinx does take up the kill, but the Graves, trying to do as much damage back. Chakwana will take a kill. It's a 1 for 2 so far, but we also have Sonic, the unnoticed top laner, teleporting in. It's a 2v3 right now. Red team very low, but will they pick up a kill? Graves flashing in, doesn't really hit his target properly. Heal being used, and Chakwana with the double buffs very low. He goes in for the second EQ. I'm not sure why. Takes very low, and Warrior and he gets the kill plus the double buffs, and wow, Papalo coming in for the roam, using Tibbers and picking up that kill. Beautifully played from blue team there. Just a very, very, very well played coming in from blue team.
Darwin, like we spoke earlier, tried to make his early game presence felt, but the counter gank and the roam from the Annie paid off better for the blue team. While the Malzahar from the red team was just sticking at mid, farming it out. While the Annie came up from behind and managed to secure the kill onto the Jinx.
Yes, indeed, and that was actually very well played by bot lane. I mean, they saw that our red team is making a very reckless teleport play. It could have gone better, as in like red team should have had Leona engage and then had Jarvan teleport in. But right now over in the mid lane, Jack's going very aggressive. Ignite and flashes being used. Jack, will flash in and exchange a 1-for-1 for Apollo. Doesn't look like it's really worth unless he got a shutdown, which I don't think he did. But Vi taken very low from Malzahar over in the mid lane, and there's just been a lot of action on this map the past 2 minutes or so.
Malzahar actually missed his combo onto the Vi. Malzahar failed to W, and which is like the Morgana soil. If he actually managed to W under Vi's foot and then ulti her, Vi would have actually gone down. But Vi managed to survive at very less HP because of that missed combo from Malzahar.
Yeah, indeed, and we haven't really seen Jax to cope up with Vi. I mean, Vi has just been ganking everywhere, and he's been getting the lanes going, whereas Jax is kind of laying back and farming it up. He does have a 20 CS extra when compared to Vi, but let's just see how he plays with it, because Vi did her job of getting the lanes fed. I mean, bot lane is fed, mid lane is face rolling, and top lane isn't doing too bad too.
Exactly. Just as you said, the Jax has not made any plays whatsoever, and the one kill that he got onto the Annie is probably not worth it, because trading a kill onto the jungler for a mid laner would always work in the favor of the laner, because Jax is, though he's going to scale better, the jungle Jax is probably never going to hit the ultimate 60-70 minute mark where he'd be 6 items. He'd probably still be running maximum 5 items, while the Annie would hit the 6 item mark. So the trading a kill onto the laner to the jungler always works in the favor of the laner. So the Annie, already you've seen that she's very ahead, is going to have even more advantage in the lane. And this is just a stupid
dive coming in by top laner. I mean, Jarvan just gets destroyed. Jax coming in trying to get a kill but not doing anything. Papalo will just take down Jax, and now Malzahar will probably take the kill onto Vi. So that is a 2-for-1, I believe, which is just, I have no idea what red team is doing. I mean, that wasn't worth at all. Plus bot lane getting into a small engage here. Double stun coming on. Beautiful play coming in from Morgana. Leona very low. Warrior Annie will take the kill. Another binding being langed, and that's a double kill coming over from Graves. GG, almost all lanes winning, I guess.
And that was actually very sloppy play by the Jarvan. He just started typed and Annie with the tippers, And at this early level as well, with pretty much no MR on him, other than currently he has the tenacity boots, but that will not be enough to, uh, taken all the damage put out by a Fed Annie under the turret with the tippers. And that was actually really sloppy play from the Jarvan, resulting in so many deaths, unnecessary deaths, while the Maokai at the top also managed to get a lot of lane push, and he managed to secure the tower at the top lane as well. So definitely working out in the favor of the blue team.
Yeah, indeed. And right now, you just see on your screen Annie got disconnected, but I don't think blue team is too worried about that. I mean, I don't really think. Oh yeah, they did pause, but that pause was kind of a bit late. But nothing did happen, so guess it's affordable. But I'd like to come back with that tower dive. So the only reason why we would call three people's mid and to tower dive Annie is because you probably do not respect the amount of burst that would come out from an Annie. I mean, despite Annie having the 4 kills, if she even didn't have the 4 kills, you would still, like, hesitate to dive in Annie due to that CC stun and the damage coming out by Tibbers. But Red Team just did not respect that coming out and just went full on dive mode in that mid lane, which resulted in Annie getting a 2-piece in exchange for 1. So, I guess you can see that Red Team just does not know who they're playing against. I mean, they do not know how strong any mid is, and they're just disrespecting almost. I would be saying.
Exactly, and not knowing the amount of damage an Annie could put out, as well as the Jarvan actually missed his EQ combo out of the Annie, which pretty much meant it's game over. He just EQ'd and missed his combo under the turret onto a Fed Annie, so that cost Red Team pretty much everything. Also, when all that action was happening at the mid, bot lane managed to secure 2 kills for the Graves in the bot lane as well. So the blue team being ahead and the red team actually being very behind in gold at the moment. Like we anticipated, the red team will have a very tough time coming back in this game, though they have a lot of late game champions like Jinx, Jax, and the Malzahar who do a lot of damage in the late game. They do not have the necessary peel to offer any protection for all that damage dealers. The Jax, once he jumps in, he's just gonna die. He's very squishy at the moment. At 1-159 farm, and the Jax is looking in no shape to go toward the late game. The blue team is so far ahead, they might end up finishing this game around the 30-minute mark by the way the things are looking.
Yeah, indeed, and even if we do get to that late game, the amount of CC that a late game Annie or a Morgana or a Maokai or even a Vi could offer will just be like almost insta burst. I mean, late game, say a six item Jax just leap strikes into the team. The Annie stun, assault and battery, all that CC combined together would just make the red team do absolutely no damage in a team fight. Hell, red team was supposed to be strong. Like this in 15 minutes into the game, red side should be winning this game. That's the only reason where they would have a chance in the late game. I mean, they should be in control of the game right now. They should be taking the dragon. They should be knocking down turrets. But they've gotten 0 turrets. They've gotten 4 kills spread across the board evenly, I'd say. But right now we got 9 kills over on the blue team, and most of the kills are on the carry, so that means immense damage coming out, plus the Tibbers. If he could get a 5-man Tibbers, and if we had like a fight right now, blue team would come out on top. And red team just doesn't understand how the game should be played at the point. I mean, they have the champions, they have they have weird champions, I guess. They have a mix of weird and okay champions, but they just really don't know how to play this game at this stage. I mean, you can even see the Jinx's build alone, even though she got crushed in the lane. I mean, I have no idea what she's trying to build. A Zeal, a pickaxe, a lifesteal. This just shows that Red Team just does not know what they're doing at this point.
Exactly. The only way the red team could possibly try and come back from this, not to mention they've lost a dragon as well, a dragon or 2. They've lost 1 dragon as far as I know. They do have a lot of pick potential with the Jarvan and Leona. Anybody who missteps into the red team's jungle, they could just catch them out, but Javan is just sitting in the top lane, farming it out. Well, they still have the Leona, they have the tools to come back from this, but the way these people in the red team are playing, they seem a little inexperienced to me. They're not at the right place at the right time, not putting out enough wards, the necessary places. They're lacking in farm as well. The Azahar falling behind heavily at mid, 126 to 93. Not to mention the 4 kills picked up by the Annie. She's already completed Death Cap and she's on her way to completing her Sonia's Hourglass, which should give her a lot of burst and some sustain as well. Yeah. And
indeed.
we do see the Javan actually being a little overextended. He could potentially be ganked at the moment considering there's no tower, but he's just a little. But he is okay. Why is nowhere near top lane?
Yeah, and at this point, like, this is where many of the teams tend to throw at this stage. I mean, they're far behind, and bot lane, that is a kill. GG, Jinx just no idea what she's doing there, standing in the middle of the lane and doing nothing. The support also standing far behind for anything to happen, and beautiful binding and just GG. I mean, there's nothing to be said about the bot lane. I mean, Jinx, they're just not playing they're just not playing how they should be playing. But right now, the flash being used, blue team thinking about tower diving the Malzahar, but don't go for it. Some pings going out for dragon. They can probably take the dragon. I mean, there's no way blue team can actually, I mean, red team, sorry, could actually contest for this dragon. Probably if J4 teleported bot, but right now, if you look at top lane while they take dragon, Maokai just face rolling on the Jarvan. I mean, look at that amount of zoning, and here I have, whoa, good CC combination up. Solar Flame being used, Jinx ulti will secure the double kill, but Dragon will go over onto the blue team. Now blah 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 is the new target. Double kill coming up from the blue team, and I guess that will be the fight. And here comes Jarvan. We'll try and dive this, but I don't think it's gonna work. Taking some tower damage, has to flash away, but will take the kill up top with his Q. Beautiful play, and a bad mistake coming in from Maokai.
Exactly. We did see the Maokai bullying out the Jarvan. The Maokai did have a level above the Jarvan, but Jarvan did hit level 11 as well, right in the middle of the battle. And the early game of the Jarvan actually helped him get the kill onto the Maokai. The Maokai just bought a Warden's Mail. Meanwhile, the Dragon, which went into the favor of the red team, the Jax did try to flash in, steal the dragon away, but that did not work out. Blue team is pulling out ahead, but the one kill on the top lane against the Maokai is a very must-have for the red team, because Jarvan, if he does not win over the Maokai, is just going to mean so much trouble for him.
Yeah, indeed, and red team, sorry, did have a decent fight. I mean, the solar flare did hit a good number of people, and along with the Jinx ulti, that was also really good. It picked a good double kill over there. But again, when you have a Graves this fed into the game, a 6-0 Graves, and I don't think he's backed yet. No, he hasn't backed it. He's sitting on 2,300 gold, waiting to complete that Phantom Dancer, hopefully, and just be a big menace into this mid game.
And like I said, during Champion Select, picking a Jinx against the Graves and Morgana is pretty much suicide, because if you get binded by Morgana even once, you're pretty much going to be dead. There's no peel offered from Leona. The Leona cannot offer you much peel. You can ulti the Graves probably, but then again, Morgana is just going to spell shield that ult if she times it right. All that burst coming in from blue team should instantly delete a Jinx before she could do anything.
Yeah, indeed, and it would have been better to pick like a Nami Kate or any like poke type of lane, bot lane, to just be constantly trading with the bot lane. But instead they go for almost a all-in engage type of comp in the bot lane, and they just got countered big time. I mean, I really don't know what was the point of that Leona getting locked in. I mean, they did lock in the Morgana, and Morgana is known to be a pretty decent counter against all CC heavy supports like Thresh and Blitzcrank, and especially Leona. So yeah, I really don't know what they were thinking in Champion Select itself, but you know, the pick hasn't worked out for them, and there is just so less that red team can do right now. I mean, they're below 5 kills, they're below 2 turrets. They have gotten a turret somewhere on the map. Yeah, they've got the mid lane turret, but that was Apollo or Paplo has exchanged that and got her or his turret. So yeah, right now I guess blue team doesn't really know what to do right now. I mean, they're just sticking into the lanes, and Maokai just gonna be teleporting out of there.
It was pretty funny. He just teleported right when he was being attacked by
and the
both
Jinx
Jax
ulti
and
being
Jarvan.
used, but that will go. I have no idea where that's going, and it actually misses by a few seconds. And oh, we have a kill in the mid lane.
Another straightforward binding.
And Warrior is on a rampage. But here comes Jarvan, Cataclysm being loose, but beautifully timed flash. Warrior Annie has the damage to fight this. A lot of crits coming out. Another binding being used. Here comes a static shift proc, but here's Jinx going very aggressive. Flash in for the Q. EQ coming out by Joquana, and he'll get down. One more hit, and Baguette can get killed, but no, he's probably going to get the double kill here. No, he doesn't. Red buff is up, and wow, the minion will block the zap, and that is a kill gonna be given over to Morgana. So such a messy fight over on the bot lane.
Exactly. It was actually very well played by the Morgana. She managed to snare, and she actually took cover inside the brush, not letting the Jinx get her auto attack onto her, and the minions were there to do all that necessary damage onto the Jinx, securing the kill for the Morgana. That was the best they could do. It actually worked out well for them, considering Maokai didn't have his teleport and Jarvan did teleport, and still managed to get a bunch of kills off of that.
Indeed, but right now blue team will secure their red team, sorry, will secure their own blue buff. And Annie, you know, was there trying to take it, but she realized that there are 4 members, and even though that she's super fed, she doesn't want to really push it. But yeah, you were saying that was also a very well done gank coming out from blue team. I mean, even though blue team didn't get any help, and we have another kill in the mid lane.
And he's just having fun killing the Malzahar at mid over and over again, same fashion. This is the second time she actually flashed burst onto the Malzahar.
Yeah, and I don't think she even needed Vi's help this time. She just went all in and got the kill by herself.
Exactly. Once you're a little above on levels, and I mentioned so many kills up ahead, you could just one-shot carries. Oh, Annie could one-shot the Jinx and the Malzahar easily. Not to mention the Jax as well. I'm not sure if she could one-shot the Jarvan at this point, because he does have a Giant's belt, but I think she's fed, she might just be able to. We'll find out, I'm not sure.
Yeah, indeed. So Dragon coming up in another 1 minute and 25 seconds. Red team, you know, I really think they should just actually try and get another solo kill and then push a lane all the way to its inhibitor turret. Instead, all lanes have one, but they're just sticking in the lanes, which really doesn't look like a good idea. I mean, if I was in this game right now as the blue team, I'd just probably go for a mid inhibitor turret or something. But right now, over in the bot lane, we do have Morgana trying to go a little bit aggressive. Solar Flare being used, but timed correctly with the spell shield. Good ulti coming from Morgana. Here comes the Vi, assault and battery. The Jinx rocket does come, but doesn't do anything. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Apollo getting 1v2. Zonya's being used, but that'll only delay the time. And here comes the Malzahar ulti. That'll go down, and Jarvan will get the shutdown gold. Meanwhile, 4 people bot lane from the blue team. Will they take the turret, or will they back out? Who knows what's happened? There's just a Jinx here to defend, and the binding doesn't land, but it gives good zone control. But here comes Vi, wants to get some damage. Exhaust goes down, Smite also goes down, and we have another messy fight. Ooh, Morgana, bad play, will get caught by the traps that will go down. Warrior Annie could have played a little bit aggressive there and probably got the Jinx, but you know, played a little back. I don't know why.
Yeah, very ahead in goal, so You tend to go a little
Oh,
cocky.
Jarvan coming in, EQing here, and does catch out the Vi. Smite being used. Chakwana doesn't have Smite because that is a top lane Jarvan, but as soon as Dragon spawns, Vi with no mana nor any summoners, and he's just gonna try and run away. EQ being used by Jarvan, and Jarvan doing the best he can to chase down this Vi. Vi very low with about 20 HP left, and Jarvan flashes to secure the kill, and that will be the first dragon of the game coming in by red team. Hopefully, a lot of pinging going on. Blue team debating or not whether to fight this. They don't have a jungler, so the dragon steal will probably be only a 20% chance of stealing it, considering that the Jack smites well, but the dragon is going down very smoothly, and collateral damage being used by Graves, but it will not pick up anything. And here's Papalo just catching out the Jinx once again with the Tibbers, and that is GG. But here's Jack sticking around for God knows what reason, but will back once she sees that Fed Little Riding Hood walking through her and claiming the jungle territory.
Exactly. Jax isn't making enough number of plays, which is what resulted in blue team getting a lead because they were comfortably farming out the lanes, and though the bot lane was actually pushed, Jax never managed to get a gank onto the bot lane. Bot lane was pushed the entire time. He should have ganked the bot lane, shutting down the Graves and the Morgana, and especially when they had a Leona, they could have
Solar Flare being used, but that doesn't do anything. Jack's coming in for the flash, but he'll get CC. Jonya's being used from Annie, but here comes the rocket coming out. Jinx will take one kill. Jarvan will also go down, but the snare going on to Jinx. Now Warrior Annie right on that Jinx. He will go down. Malzahar looks like the new target, and that's a triple kill coming out from the blue team, and that will be a 25-minute inhibitor. I mean, the carries of the blue team just face rolling and stomping through this team. I have no idea what was going in the minds of red teams, but they're just getting wrecked. There could probably be a potential Nexus turret going down, but no, they look at the bot lane turret. Graves is tanking it. He doesn't give a damn, and they're gonna take the second inhibitor of the game at 26 minutes. And here comes Jax. Don't know what he's gonna do. He's just gonna pop the counter strike and try and take down some minions. But blue team happy with the two inhibitors. Papalo actually trying to get a look at catch in, and he does find the support. Tibbers being used, but Leona a little bit tanky. Does have the giant belt and the sightstone. Good amount of health coming through, which prevents Annie from bursting down the Leona. But you could just see the amount of damage coming out from Annie. I mean, if that was a Malzahar or a Jinx, that would just be almost a one-shot Tibbers play.
In that fight which happened at the mid lane, Jax got pretty much one shot even without the Tibbers. That's how squishy the Jax is at the moment, and a jungle Jax going for a Trinity Force and just a Ninja Tabi, knowing that there's a very fed Annie who's one-shotting people, and that considering that the blue team has so much CC, he picked up Ninja Tabi boots, which is actually very poor itemization by Jax.
Well, at least he didn't go for a Sunfire Cape first item. Yeah, but Jax...
A Trinity Force is pretty... actually, a Sunfire Cape would have been better than a Trinity Force at this point. Honestly.
You always see those Jax jungles in solo queue and about silver to gold elo. And again, Leona getting caught out. Don't know why she was there. Probably taking a hike in the woods and finds a little girl, but with a lot of damage. And pinks for Baron being gone right now. They will take a free Baron. No support. Jungler is taking bulls at the moment. I don't know why, but that is just a free Baron. It'll go down pretty fast looking at the amount of damage and CC the blue team has. Graves just chunking at that Baron, critting 438, 433. Blue team has slain Baron Asher, and now they look on to hopefully push the top lane inhibitor, but a Jinx rocket will see nothing but just an empty damage. Could have gotten a hit if Warrior Annie went forward a little bit, but nope. They're just going to be pushing onto the top lane outer turret, and then potentially the Nexus in about a good 5 minutes or so.
The amateur league we are looking at, because the blue team is actually playing it out really good objective by objective. If it was a very rookie team, they would have just stuck around at mid, not knowing exactly what to do. But they are calling in all the objectives so perfectly, and I do see that Annie and the Graves are playing this game really well. They know how to play this game. The Annie knows what the limit of a damage is, and the Graves actually has some fancy mechanics. So yeah, the blue team is actually a team of very good players. I do not believe this. They
Yeah,
do
indeed, and
belong
we
in the
have another
amateur
team
league.
fight. I mean, blue team just tower diving it. Wow, losing 0 members. Vi going into the backline will get the kill. Assault and battery, or sorry, just Q out, and that's another ace coming from the blue team. The third Nexus turret is gonna be falling. We have super minions coming in from the bot lane and mid lane in a second here, but they don't care. They're just gonna go for a game win, and not even 5 minutes they get the game killed. 30 minutes, guys, and the blue team just basically face rolled the red team.
Exactly. This game was never the red teams. From minute one, each and every lane won out. The top lane was going out considerably even, but that's mostly because of the power that the Jarvan just over the Maokai during the early game. But other than that, the blue team pretty much played perfectly.